Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only the best. I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win. I don't want no fake love, I want the real stuff. Everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you all the path, if you want it bad. I'm gonna show you where it's at, yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't never done, I'll be number one. Working hella hard until I get just what I want, yeah. Rises like the sun, yeah, fatal like a gun. Shooters gonna shoot and I'm gonna shoot until I won, yeah. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only the best. I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win, yeah.
Hello, everyone. Sorry for going early, but there is a press conference going on about one of the stories I'm talking about. And I apologize. I shouldn't have put Swedish Fish in my mouth before it was about to, the song was supposed to end. Bash, hello. Daz, Cool Gamer. Ange Carter, Jenny. Shopaholic, yes, No Wire Hangers is present. Hello. Stella Bella. If a notification, well, I don't know if a notification would send you here. Well, let's see if I got oh, I did get an email to my own email that I was going live. So the notification did go out, even though I went live about 30 minutes early. CK, hello. Oh, it's bad. And there is a hurricane or a tropical storm that's actually causing, the wind from that is causing the fires to spread even quicker. It looks apocalyptic for sure. Tonka Girl, hello. Denise. Oh, you got one. Perfect. So I was trying to find, so the press conference was live on the governor's Facebook, and I was trying to find how I could hide the live chat because oh, there we go. Never mind. I just figured it out. Okay, so 3 stories that we're going to talk about today. I'm going to start with the Maui fires just because the press conference is happening. It started at around 4 o'clock. And then we'll talk about the Pakistani train derailment, and then the Cal Fire tragedy. And I'm hoping that my internet will work. It's been working fine. I restarted my computer once it crashed, and then it's seemingly been working. So I don't know. We were getting, like, it was kind of windy out. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but fingers crossed. Because we know it's not my internet. So as Bash had said at the end of my other live, maybe I need to start grifting for a new computer. Yeah, apples for the teacher. All right, so I'm going to present the Facebook. So again, this started at 4, I guess is it Pacific time where Hawaii is? So this is the press conference that they had from the lieutenant governor. Let me just make sure my volume is okay. And I apologize, there is no closed captioning. Let me just see. Oh, so I guess it's I didn't think I had to. All right, give me 1 second. Oh, there we go. Okay. It's weird. Now it's like on the opposite side. Okay. Volume, full screen. All right, here we go. So it is playing. It's just, it might be the screen for a little bit. Oh, I've never been to Hawaii. That's one place that I have wanted to go. I just haven't gotten there. All right, so I'm going to just kind of keep going. Not sure why they start these things so early. There we go. Okay, let me just back up a little bit.
Another emergency, and we have impacts as we.
All right, so should be just a few seconds. Hey, Tribal Gal. Welcome. I used to be cool. Hello. All right, I thought I had it.
We are here to address the state's and county's response to Hurricane Dora and to provide information about the wildfires and its impacts as we know them today. Governor Josh Green is currently en route to join our collected efforts, and he lends his unwavering support to address the impacts of Hurricane Dora and the wildfires. Throughout the night, Governor Green has been working with Major General Hara and other leaders in the community to organize support for Maui. He will be traveling to Maui tomorrow. He is deeply grateful for the leadership of Acting Governor Sylvia Luke. Without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Acting Governor, Lieutenant Governor Sylvia Luke.
You know, it is really with sadness and just heartache that we are at this press conference. You know, Governor Green and I have been talking very closely throughout the day yesterday as we monitor the situation, and we have spoken to both mayors several times throughout the night, and we have been working with Maui. We have shelters that are overrun. We have resources that are being taxed. We are doing whatever we can, and the state is providing whatever support that we can to give support to both Maui and to the Big Island. You know, Governor Green is cutting his trip short. He is en route. He will be back midnight. He is cutting his trip by a week, and that tells you the magnitude of how grave we think the situation is. And we have been working all night to make sure that the situation is contained. We are thankful to the mayors, and we are grateful to the federal delegation. We have already reached out to FEMA, and they have generously provided support. And so we are just thankful for many support. But at the same time, please reach out to people. I mean, anytime there's a disaster, anytime there's things like this that happen to our community, that shake our community. It's the community, and it's our families, and it's our people, it's our ohana that help each other. And this is a time we need help. We need to stand together. We need to be brave for each other. But at the same time, it's just with sadness and so we are just struck by the devastation felt in Maui.
Mahalo.
And again, thank you for those of you who have come in. I am first discussing the wildfires that are occurring in Maui, Hawaii, and it is being exacerbated by Hurricane Dora, the winds from that.
Acting Governor Luke, at this time, I'd like to bring up Major General Ken Hara, Adjutant General of the Hawaii State Department of Defense.
Aloha and good morning. So Lieutenant Governor Green appointed me as the overall incident commander for the state for this incident. However, I just wanted to stress that in accordance with Hawaii Revised Statute 127 Alpha, that we are in support of the counties and they are the lead. It was very difficult because of the conditions last night, the high winds and the fire. We really don't have all of the details on exactly how many structures are damaged, but we do know, power is out, they're having problems with water. But I'll let the county share the details of each of the effects by island. We did get support from the active duty military, providing helicopters to Hawaii County. And then I sent 2 helicopters over to Maui to do water bucket fire suppression missions, and then additional guardsmen to assist with search and rescue, traffic control, and security. And then we're standing by, as the Lieutenant Governor mentioned, close coordination with FEMA for additional federal resources. Based on the request for our visitors to leave Maui, we worked with the Department of Business, Economic Development, Tourism, and the Hawaii Convention Center. So if there's anyone that's traveling off of Maui to Oahu and was not able to get a hotel room, they can get lodging at the convention center. We don't have any transportation laid out yet. We're working that logistics now, but if you can find your way to the convention center, we can provide you shelter there until you get follow-on transportation out of the state of Hawaii. If you need information on the website, so ready.hawaii.gov, and that's Hawaii spelled out, ready.hawaii.gov is the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency's website that you can get all of the current information, and that'll be the core site for you to get the accurate information. And then the phone number is 808-733-4300. And again, 808-733-4300. But we are in coordination working with our airline partners to try to get more flights with the hotels so they can get rooms. So if any of the visitors would like to stay in a hotel as opposed to the convention center, and then as a last resort, the convention center. Thank you.
Mahalo, Major General Hara. At this time, I'd like to turn your attention to the screen electronically. And joining us today is Mayor Richard Bisson with Maui County.
Aloha, kakayaka kako. I would like to first thank the Lieutenant Governor as well as the Adjutant General for arranging this joint press conference. We know there's lots of interest in what's going on in our county, and I'd like to update everyone. As a result of 3 fires that have occurred that are continuing here on our island, we have had 13 evacuations from different neighborhoods and towns. We've had 16 road closures. We've opened 5 shelters, and we've, as a result of that, our west side of our island, Lahaina area was cut off. Only one road was able to be traveled in and out. Power was out to 2,628 vehicles customers.
Hey there. Yes. So, hey Becca and Turtle, welcome. So this is the first thing I'm talking about today are the wildfires on the island of Maui in Hawaii. And this is the mayor of Maui who is speaking. And there are 3 fires. He said there's 3 fires, 13. There have been 13 evacuations. Currently, there are 5 shelters set up. He had talked about road closures. I don't remember that number. But he is saying that the one side of the island is being cut off because of those fires.
There was no power at our hotels or even at the shelters that we opened out on that side. I'm sad to report that just before coming on this, it was confirmed we've had 6 fatalities that we were able to confirm. And we are still in a...
And so he did say just before this press conference, they were able to confirm that there have been 6 fatalities.
Search and rescue mode. And so I don't know what will happen to that number. We've had many dwellings, businesses, structures that have been burnt, many of them to the ground, mostly in our Lahaina neighborhoods in our Lahaina area. We've had also, I should have added multiple school closures. We are grateful to the DOE for allowing us to use their facilities here in Maui County to be able to house folks. We have over 2,100 people in shelters. Within those shelters I mentioned to you, and several that are unaccounted for in the sense that they are in their cars and did not come into the actual shelter. We are grateful again for the assets that have been sent over to us by the state, our federal partners, our county partners and allies. We are grateful for.
Yes, CK. And I do have a video in regards to people jumping into the ocean. Yes.
The outpouring of assistance. At this time, we are continuing the battle of fire. We now have helicopters that were unable to get up in the air yesterday that are now using water drops to help suppress the fire. That's the latest information from Maui County. Thank you again for allowing us to address you.
Mahalo, Mayor Bisson. At this time, I'd like to turn your attention virtually to Mayor Mitch Roth from Hawaii County.
Aloha. I too would like to thank the Lieutenant Governor as well as the Adjutant General for having this press conference today. Hawaii Island, we had 3 to 5 fires, depending on how you count them. Right now, we are still battling 3 of those. Lalamilo fire is pretty much well contained. The Kunipule fire, we have some containment on there. However, we do still have firefighters out there. We're still kind of hesitant to say we have it completely under control. The Kunipule Highway is still closed from mile marker 6 to 17. As far as the Mauna Kea Resort area fire, that is still being actively fought right now. I have just got word before going on that they have just opened the Queen Kahumanu Highway that was closed. So we're still going in that area. Still caution people, we're still under a red flag warning, and we see that with winds coming up, it's very possible for planes to get sent out from places where we think we almost have things put out. But right now, firefighters are out there working. We have our shelters open, Iso Gym, as well as Waimea Community Center. I believe at this time, those shelters are empty. We appreciate all the support that people have given to us. We especially appreciate the teamwork that we've received from our firefighters, federal partners, our military, PTA, National Guard.
Hey, Selena.
A lot of our private contractors who have been out there, state DLNR for the DOFA, and others who have just reached out to help. We're so thankful for that. But at this time, our thoughts and our prayers are with Maui, and we're not out of the woods yet, but I think the situation in Maui right now should take precedence over us, and we're happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Mahalo, Mayor Roth. At this time, I'd like to bring up Director Ed Sniffen with the Hawaii State Department of Transportation.
Hello, everybody. Absolutely horrific situation that we're trying to work through right now, and really hearts and prayers go out to Maui County. We are strongly discouraging non-essential travel to Maui, but the airports are still operating efficiently. Right now, last night we had 2,000 people staying over at the airport.
Hey, Slime News.
Because they couldn't get on the red eye, or they were waiting for other flights to come in. We made sure that we processed them through this morning. We're working with our airline partners on all of that. There's another 4,000 visitors that we're expecting will want to leave the island from the west side.
SoFlo Mama, go take a snooze. You've been busy today. Oh, wow, Sav. You just turned on your TV and it's a headline there. Yeah, it's pretty, as Jenny said, cataclysmic for sure.
So Kahikili Highway is open on the back road to make sure that you can come from Lahaina or the west side into town to get to Kahului. And the Honopilani Highway and the bypass are closed for operational or emergency responders only at this time. There's just a lot of poles down in different areas, fires jumping in different spots, and it's dangerous to utilize that roadway. But Kahikili is open. We expect everybody to use that to get into town, into the airport area. Our airport partners are absolutely amazing. You'll see that they've dropped fares and offered waivers to a lot of travelers to help everybody get off of Maui, to make sure that we can move people over to Oahu or get them back home, whichever they'd like, to ensure that we can start using the resources to recover.
Oh, Slime News. I said hello. Maybe I didn't say it loud enough, but I did say hi. I guess I should have said it a little louder.
And focus on the residents of Maui in that area. We'll keep updating on our web pages, the accessibility of all of our highways, and if any impacts occur at the airports. I would recommend to everybody, anytime we have travel like this that's impacted on one island, it's going to impact others. So before you head down to the airport, if you're going to travel anywhere, before you head down to the airport, make sure you check in with your airlines, check in on the status of your flight to ensure that it's on time. Thank you very much.
Mahalo, Director Sniffen. Finally, I'd like to bring up Director Jimmy Tokioka with the State Department of Business, Economic Development, and Tourism.
Good morning. It's, as everyone has said, it's an incredibly sad day today. We've seen the devastation. We can compare it, coming from Kauai to Iniki, but the difference is nobody was prepared for this. You could see the hurricane coming. So I want to ask that as the administration, we're communicating with all of the people involved, from the federal government to the state government to the counties. But to the visitors who are watching this and looking for answers, we're going to ask for your patience because this is a stressful time. None of us were prepared for this, but we're preparing very well for this, and General Hara is at the command. So we have the confidence that he's handled these situations before. In my role, we are preparing the convention center, and early this morning, even prior to the proclamation for support at the convention center, we set it up to potentially accommodate 4,000 people. They're cooking food, their preparations are there, the Red Cross is going over and setting all of that up. But it is a tall task. The city buses will be transporting people from the airport to the convention center, and we are working right now with the airport and the city to accommodate that transportation for the visitors that are coming. But I also want to say it's not only for the visitors. Local people have lost everything. They've lost their house, they've lost their animals, and it's devastating. So we also are reaching out to local people that the shelters on Maui may be full, so you may not have an option, but you do have an option here on Oahu at the convention center. So we wanted to make sure that you knew that. I particularly want to thank at the convention center, Kalani Ka'ana'ana and Daniel Naho'opili and Terry Orton for accommodating this. I don't think Kalani slept yet since we got the calls last night. And we also want to thank Jerry Gibson from the Hotel Association. We will have booths set up there that will tell and inform guests that are coming what the hotel status is, what the rate is, and the hotels that have occupancy. So on behalf of DBED and Hawaii Tourism Authority, once again, it's a sad day, but we thank everyone for their cooperation. Aloha and mahalo.
Mahalo. At this time, we'll open up for live Q&A with the media. And I'm going to repeat the question. I'm inviting Acting Governor Sylvia Luke up, but either she or I will repeat the question so that everybody can understand. So the first question is going to go to star advertiser Dan Nakaso.
Question for Americans.
Okay.
Do you have an estimate of injuries and of the 6 fatalities? Were they drowning or were they fire?
Before you answer, Mayor, the question is around, do we have an update on fatalities and injuries on Maui County? Right.
You know, I don't have the specifics for those 6 confirmed fatalities that we have.
Hey, Denise.
And that was because I got
Hey,
that
Jima.
just really literally the minute before we came on to this press conference. We've been trying to get that update. This morning was the first time we were able to assess, obviously during daylight hours, what was happening. And so that's based on that. And as far as injuries, we've had a few injuries. Some, I think we sent folks to Straub. I'm trying to think there were about maybe 6 or so. Not all were burn related, 3 of them were. And we also had a firefighter that suffered smoke inhalation. That firefighter was also treated and I believe transported over to a hospital over on Oahu, but is in stable condition. So we did have some injuries as well.
Governor, the next question comes from Chloe with KITV, and if you could just repeat her.
Okay.
Yes, this is for Mayor Bisson. We have an estimate on the number of businesses and homes that have been impacted.
The question.
I'm sorry, I heard. Sorry, you want to repeat
Okay.
the question?
The question is, how many businesses have been impacted?
We don't have that exact number just yet. Again, we're still in the assessment phase this morning now that we have light. So I don't want to take a guess at the number, but it's going to be a high number. Again, power is still out in that part of the island. There were 29 poles, or 30 poles that were down, 29 in Lahaina itself. And so we have not yet been able to restore that to get a better idea. And the fire is still going on in Lahaina.
Our next question comes from Paige Len from Lolo Nevada.
This is for General Hara and for Mayor Bisson.
Oh, Tribal Gal says, I lost everything, and I mean all of it, from Hurricane Michael on October 18th, 2018. I was found 2 days later. Oh my gosh, Tribal Gal. That is scary, horrible.
We're hearing from residents about the fatalities and the possibility of a lot more than that. Also, some people dying in cars and families. That's been reported here at all, or is that something you're looking into?
Again, the question is relating to the details of the fatalities and the injuries.
And so I'm going to stop this here just because I feel like the questions are probably going to be similar. The questions in regards to the fatalities and injuries, the reporters want specifics. They want to know how these people died, not relevant. And that's why the mayor is not answering the question the way they want it to be answered, because it's not relevant. So we are going to look at some videos, and I actually did just find, I got an alert on my phone from Twitter. And actually, let me just go to Twitter. It was from the BBC. They have a video that I think will sum things up, and then we will check out some of the videos from earlier today. Here it is. Okay. Oops, wrong slide. Okay, so this is from the BBC. And so on my phone, I saw this photo. And this is really, I think about, there was the Australian wildfires. And then, gosh, it was probably years ago now, but the Paradise, California wildfires. And that was, just insane, I guess is the word. So we're going to watch this. Well, this is live. Oh, it's the press conference. Okay.
So the question is, what are the needs of the firefighting crew on Maui, and do they have enough resources?
Well, I can tell you that we did not anticipate having these many fires simultaneously. So we have drawn our assets from every place on the island except for Hana, and they have, as I said, worked in shifts. So we have a new shift on now. I think we have also reached out to other helpers. I know we had DOFA. I think they contributed another 28 personnel yesterday. I know we've had, again, offers from federal, the park rangers here at the Haleakala National Park have offered assistance, and I believe we are also talking with our military and other counties. I don't have a count for you to say that. We've used all of our equipment, including the airport. I should have mentioned the airport firefighters have also offered their personnel and their equipment to us as well. I think a big thing that was hampering us yesterday is because of the
yeah, they can hit me with copyright. I don't monetize these videos.
It was not safe for them.
And I can't pause this.
Apparently, as of
yes, I can. Whoops, my bad. Yeah. So, and I didn't realize I could get it so I could pause. They can copyright claim me. I don't monetize my videos about this stuff. So, it is what it is. I'll just cut the segment out. That's all. Yeah. Whoops. Now what's happening? Why aren't you playing? All right. Well, now it's not working because I messed it up. So I thought they had an article. It's not an article.
That
so
situation has improved, and so I think we will.
Let me go back over here.
In addition.
right, so again, we are going to be talking about the Pakistani train derailment and the California fire tragedy in Riverside County, California. But again, we're going to be looking at the Maui wildfires first. So these videos are from earlier this morning, and then I did find a video from about an hour, well, probably about 2 hours now. That is a little bit more updated, but this just kind of gives an idea of the magnitude of what's happening on the island of Maui. Oh, I can only imagine, Jenny. Oh, hold on. Let me unmute.
Those out of control fires happening in Maui. Hawaii is under a state of emergency right now with mandatory evacuations, and Ginger is tracking the very latest. These are stark images. Good morning, Ginger.
Sounds like utter chaos, Rebecca. In Maui, this is on the west side, on the northwest side, where they are in a moderate drought. But look at these pictures. People reporting that they're in gridlock, desperately trying to evacuate and get out of here. Here's what's happening. Dora to the south, we actually told you about this, is more than 740 miles away from the islands, but there's a high pressure system. Squeeze that together. We've got gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour.
This morning, an inferno spreading in the vacation paradise of Maui in Hawaii. At least 1,000 acres burning as thousands of people are waking up to a mess.
And I mean, I can't imagine, well, I mean, the magnitude, 1,000 acres, and the winds are just exacerbating the amount of fire. Yeah, Slime News, definitely hard to keep up to date because there's so many cases.
Those out of control fires happening in Maui. Hawaii is under a state of emergency right now with mandatory.
At least 1,000 acres burning as thousands of people are waking up to a message saying, evacuate your family and pets now.
And so this reminds me a little bit. I remember watching the Paradise, California coverage and just seeing the people driving down the road, it like pitch black, and just having fire on either side of the road, and just hoping and praying that you made it out past where the fire was.
Raging brush fires even forcing some people to jump into the harbor to avoid the fast-moving flames. The Coast Guard confirming it has rescued a dozen people from the water near Lahaina. This video shows a wall of flames swallowing Front Street, destroying dozens of businesses. And
let me just back up, because those people, I'm sorry, that is way too close for me. I understand that maybe they don't have the means to leave, but I would be be going as far away as I could, not standing there looking at it.
And north of Austin, Texas, evacuations in Cedar Park. Crews there battling a wildfire. Helicopters dousing the flames.
Wow,
One
also
apartment
in
building,
Texas.
a total loss. 2 others severely damaged.
The largest flame wall reported was 60 feet in the air. And that was when it was hitting the trees beside the apartment complex. The wind moved this fire.
So this is from Texas. So it says blaze outside Austin, burning hundreds of acres. So I didn't realize that there was a fire in Texas as well. Yeah, the planet is on fire. I mean, there was those fires in France, Canada. I feel like there was another European country, Greece. There was the fires in Greece.
Quickly.
At least 50 acres burning with just 15% containment.
I mean, look at this video. Now in Colorado, we had the Yuma tornado. This one really close up from a storm chaser there.
Holy hell. Okay, so this isn't a fire, but this is a tornado in Colorado. That thing is massive. Holy.
One of more than 800 severe storm reports that have been reported just the last 2 days. Monday's reports were the biggest day of the year. And they're in Massachusetts. Had 4 tornadoes already this year, 2 of them in that storm. We are covering, of course, what's going to happen today. The severe weather threat includes.
Okay, so I'm going to move on because she's just going to do the weather. So this one is from Fox 11. And so people are jumping into the ocean to escape the Maui wildfires. And just this image itself is like, it's the apocalypse.
That's the developing news out of Maui this morning, where people are jumping into the ocean to escape raging wildfires. High winds, partly due to nearby Hurricane Dora, are fanning the flames. Maui officials say the fire has burned one of the most popular tourist areas in the state. Wow. Hawaii's governor has declared an emergency on both Maui and the Big Island. The fires and winds have also taken down power lines, causing widespread power outages.
Just so unusual to see.
All right, and that does look like similar to what they had on Good Morning America. So now this one is from CNN, and the reason I picked this one is because the title was Maui Fires Overwhelm Hospitals with Burn Patients, which I feel sometimes gets lost in the mayhem. Is there are people who are injured, and the hospitals that work to help them.
State of emergency in Hawaii. New video shows wildfires moving quickly across western Maui. Hurricane-charged winds are making it nearly impossible to...
Yes, exactly, Jenny. It does. It looks volcanic. Like a volcano is erupting. That's what it reminds me of. It's crazy.
Battle at least 5 separate fires, including one that did move through a Maui neighborhood. 911 service.
And as we heard at the press conference, they said there are 3 active fires at this moment, one that is not contained.
And cell service has gone down in parts of that island. Officials describe a dire situation as hospitals are overwhelmed with patients suffering burns and smoke injuries. Now, Kate spoke to a man who shot video of a fire encroaching on his West Maui town. He described it as a wall of fire engulfing buildings on both sides of the street. He said he does not...
That is a good question, Heather B. Beachy, and one I can look up if they don't answer in these videos. That I do not know, so I will definitely look it up. And for those of you just coming in, so Rowena, Sunnyside, I feel like I said hi to you, Sunnyside, but I'm going to say hi again. I thought there was somebody else that just came in. Well, I'm not sure. So Steph B, I don't think I said hi to you, but hello. And anyone else coming in, welcome. I very much appreciate you.
Expect his homes to survive.
One of my houses definitely caught fire. The other houses are each a block away, and I did not see them burn, but I recognize there is a...
And that is just incredible. And I hate using the word incredible because this isn't an incredible thing that's happening, but it's just like, I don't know the word. Somebody will know a better word than incredible.
Very good chance that they are not there anymore. Both of them were completely covered in smoke. When I went, after I started to evacuate, I went back to just check to see if the house was on fire or not. It wasn't, but I was standing at the street looking at my house, and I couldn't see my whole house because of the smoke. But the smoke was coming from another property that was a few buildings away. And then I went down to Front Street right after that and wanted to check on my gallery. I've had a gallery in the center of Front Street.
Oh, so this may be his gallery, maybe not. Maybe it's just happenstance that they have the video of this gallery. Oh no, it says Alan Dickar. So maybe not, but
for 23 years. And as I began walking that way, there's a historic building on Front Street in Dickinson, the old Baldwin House. The roof was on fire, and I started taking a video of it because I was amazed that there were no fire trucks there. And then as I turned and looked down Front Street exploded in flame.
And somebody just said it looks like, Rowena said it looks like an explosion. And that's just how this man described it. It looked as if it had exploded in flames.
Just remarkable pictures there. And earlier, we also spoke with a Hawaiian official who told us that these fires are not at all under control. CNN's Derek Van Dam, you can see him. He is with us now. Derek, not at all under control. You know, what hope is there to turn the corner against these fires?
Well, we've got a tough 12 hours ahead. My producers and I just checked on the current conditions on Maui. Winds are gusting to 66 miles per hour within the past hour. So clearly still funneling and fueling some of these flames. So what you're looking at, and the video you saw directly before me, is from Lahaina on the western side of Maui. You got to understand that this is the economic hub of Maui. This is where residents go. This is where tourists or residents live. This is where tourists go to vacation. You know, with 20% of the island without power, this is a significant event for the island of Maui. And it's not just Maui, it's also Hawaii. We've learned just in the past couple of hours, emergency declarations being issued by the lieutenant.
Oh, wow. So there are other hot spots that are on different islands.
Governor of Hawaii for the Big Island. From that burn scar you start to see, or this hot spot you see on this satellite imagery. Also interesting to note,
wow,
you can see the direction of the smoke just pushing the wildfire smoke away from Maui and into the open ocean, the Pacific Ocean. This is showing you just how strong the winds actually are. So what's taking place here? Why are we getting these strong winds over the Hawaiian Islands? It's all thanks to this kind of pressure squeeze between the high pressure to the north and a passing hurricane to the south. That's Hurricane Dora, and it's putting the squeeze on the Hawaiian Islands. And what that's doing is creating wind gusts in excess of...
Holy crap. Kohala Ranch, 82 miles per hour. That's crazy. So that is hurricane equivalent winds, Category 1 in Kohala Ranch.
Of 80 miles per hour. That's equivalent to a Category 1 Atlantic hurricane. Wind advisories and red flag warnings are in place for the entire Hawaiian Island chain. And similar to what we experienced in Southern California with Santa Ana winds, we are having this wind come up and over mountaintops. Very simple thermodynamic processes at play here. As that wind rushes over the mountains and through the canyons, it dries out, it heats up, and it also increases the wind. So until this hurricane and this high pressure move away from the Hawaiian Islands, we will see these winds, these very dry, hot winds that create these timberbox conditions continue.
Yeah, so definitely the hurricane needs to go somewhere. So this one is a little bit longer. I think this video, so this is from Hawaii News Now, and this is a little bit longer. I think it's about 7 minutes, but they talk to residents. They do really great coverage. So we're going to take a look at this. And so in case you didn't hear me, hello, blank, YouTube Duckery, True Texan, hello, the Canuckian, hello, and I think Denise, I think I said hi to Denise, but hello again.
Tonight, with new blazes erupting in the past hour.
Multiple structures have burned, and in Lahaina, people escaped the flames and fixed.
Like that smoke, I mean, just, and then having the smoke blowing into where you live. I mean, that's just, I just can't even imagine.
Smoke by fleeing into the ocean.
Now, weary fire crews are scrambling to keep the flames from spreading, but the winds are not letting up.
Jima, the last time I looked, I don't believe they have. I believe that there was still some. I'm going to Google it real quick. Oh, look at that. That question came right up. Are the wildfires still burning in Canada? And according to 8 sources, yes, they are still burning. The fires are still burning, with smoke going on to affect states such as South Dakota, Montana, and Iowa. as well as swaths of the Midwest and Northeast. The fires, which began in early June, have affected Ontario and Quebec. And this is, let's see, what is the date of this article? I'm going to share this instead. As wildfires gobble up more Canadian acreage, crews struggle to even keep up. So this was July 18th. So this was some time ago. And as of July 18th, there were 800 wildfires. And more than 24 million acres had burned. So, and again, this was July 18th, but there are more than 880. Okay, so I was off. More than 880 fires burning throughout the country. And the Canadian Interagency Forest Fire Center said at least 580 of the current wildfires are, quote, out of control. So let me see if I can find. No, go away. Oh, here, 1 day ago. Oh my gosh, look at that image. No, go away, please. So this one is from The Guardian, and that image is just, oh my God, even like when I look at it on my phone, it's even more like, incredible. Like, just, I don't even know the words to explain how frightening that is. So this was from yesterday, August 8th. So it says, as the country suffers its worst wildfire season on record, Canada's retiring fire master is passing on the lessons learned. Okay, so I'm not sure if this actually tells. Okay, well, this is saying Canada is in the middle of its worst wildfire season in recorded history, with more than 13 million hectares or 32 million acres burned from 5,440 blazes since January. As of early August, okay, we're early August, the bulk of the country's active fires were concentrated in the westernmost province. So let's click on that. And that brings us to the Canadian Interagency Forest Fire Center. And okay, so here we go. Great question, Jima. This tells us, as of today, this is actually a really good site. I need to make sure I put that in the description after the live. So this tells us, as of now, there are 741 out of control fires. So all these red dots, or these pins, I should say, all the red pins are out of control fires. 168 being held. I'm not sure what being held means. Like, does that mean like they're being prevented from going further? I guess there's like that firewall line. So those are the green dots, and then the yellow are there are 229 under control. So, I mean, when you look at it, so if I move over here, the majority, whoops, I went too far. No, back up. I mean, out of control is all over Canada, but it seems like the most out of control is the northwest section of Canada. And then the more under control, and it's weird, there's this section of Canada that doesn't have any. It's like this little section right here. It's weird. And then you have like these sections, but that's a lot of fires. So if we add those up, 18, 1, 13, that's like almost 1,100 fires currently burning in Canada. So there's 4 new fires today. Oh, I didn't even have to do the math. Okay. There are 1,138 active fires currently in Canada. And to date, there have been 5,559 fires. And the area burned in hectares is 13.3 million hectares have burned. So that was a great question. And I'm glad that I found that article because this actually gave a lot of information. And you could actually, this looks like it's interactive maybe. Oh, this kind of breaks it down. So currently British Columbia has the most. Oh, this was yesterday. Oh, wait, no, from current year, from January 1st. Okay. So as of yesterday, British Columbia has had 35 natural fires, 6 human started for a total of 41. So, or no, it says yesterday. That's, wow. That is crazy. So I will put the link to this page in the description after the live because that's fascinating. Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for asking the question. Oh, that section is the prairies. There are barely any trees there. Thank you. Makes sense. All right, so we'll get back to this.
Time evacuations have pushed countless people from their homes. Communications are down and emergency agencies are struggling to keep up.
From Hawaii News Now, this is breaking news.
It's breaking news across the state tonight, but on Maui, it appears a fire crisis is unfolding as we speak.
The county confirms several active fires on the island, including a big blaze in Lahaina. We have new video just in. Take a look at this.
Oh, so that Alan, well, now you can't see it because I paused it, but that Alan Dakar, the one that was on the phone with CNN, who said he had a gallery on Front Street, which this is Front Street, this is actually video that he took. So that actually is interesting. Oh, wow, your friend just got back from Maui. I agree, Sinner, right? I didn't even know that site existed. I mean, and that's why I like the hyperlinks, because the articles, because then, I mean, that just is a rabbit hole in itself, because you can just keep clicking and finding new stuff, but super interesting for sure. And it makes me wonder if the US has one similar, where you can go and just see how many active fires are going on in the States right now.
You can hear the explosions in the background there, an absolute rager. This comes to us from Alan Dakar. He was there as the flames ripped through that tight collection of businesses on Front Street. A county spokesperson confirms that an unknown number of people were forced to run into the ocean after being overwhelmed by flames and smoke. The Coast Guard deployed several boats and picked people up from the harbor and took them to safer places.
We're told that fire continues tonight. We just got off the phone with Mr. Dakar, who witnessed this horrific fire.
I had to evacuate because of that fire and just got to Kahului, so I have service. That's why it just got posted. So that was this afternoon around probably 4:30 in bright sunshine, full blue sky, but you couldn't tell from.
Right. So that's kind of like the Paradise fire. It was, you know, it was sunny and bright, and then it becomes dark and it's like it's nighttime. Yes. So it was a family. And they died from malnourishment and weather elements. Yes, and actually, while I'm at it, and that was Gunnarsson. Was that Gunnarsson, Colorado? I know that was a while ago, but I'm pretty sure it was Gunnarsson, Colorado. Yes, I was right. Okay, so this was 12 days ago. Oh my gosh, this one has pictures of them. I didn't see this. All right, that's a video that's not working. So let me go to this one. All right, why does this, I don't understand why these things show up and then I can't read the story. Okay, there we go. Like, how do I get rid of this? These ads are so annoying. So decomposed bodies found in remote Colorado campsite belong to trio living, quote, off the grid. So this is just an archive photo. This isn't the actual tent. And I actually did do a live, not the actual tent. So there was one person that was found outside the tent, and then there were two individuals found inside the tent once law enforcement had been called on the first. So 3 decomposed and partially mummified bodies discovered in Colorado's Gunnison National Forest earlier this month have been identified as 2 adults and 1 teenager who were attempting to, quote, live off the grid. As previously reported by USA Today, hikers in the Rocky Mountains alerted authorities after stumbling across a tent with a body outside of it on July 9th. When the sheriff's office investigated the scene the following day, 2 more bodies were discovered zipped inside of the tent. The bodies have since been identified as belonging to Christine Vance, 41, her sister Rebecca Vance, 42, and Rebecca's 14-year-old son, who has not been named due to his age. All 3 were from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Oh, and there's a video. Okay, so this just going by this woman's face is going to be emotional. So again, I do still have my banner. Viewer discretion advised. We'll take a look at this. And thank you for your question. I don't remember who. Haley, thank you for your question. Oh, and it would help if I turn the volume on. Okay, there we go.
I didn't want my feeling to be true. I was out here in the driveway just walking back and forth, screaming.
Trevor Lahara recalling the day the Gunnison County coroner called her with news about 3 bodies found near Gold Creek Campground. It was her family, her 14-year-old nephew, and her 2 stepsisters, Rebecca and Christine Vance.
The way they died was brutal. How can you die from starvation? It is one of the worst ways to go, and I can only imagine what was going through their heads.
About 1 year ago, Rebecca Vance told her stepsister that they were going off the grid forever.
She was fearful of the way the world was going, and she really, really thought she was protecting her son and Christine.
In preparation for their lifelong journey in the wilderness, Hara says they did most of their research on the internet, learning how they could survive through YouTube videos.
You can watch somebody rub 2 sticks together, but that's not enough. Looking at it, reading it is totally different than actually doing it.
Without any tangible experience, Christine, Rebecca, and her teenage son embarked on their escape from society. This is the last known picture of them on their way out when they stopped at Hara's.
And so again, there is a photo. So this is the woman that's speaking now. And then that looks like her husband or whomever that was with her. And then these two ladies are the ones that went off on the grid. And then I'm assuming that's the son.
House to say their goodbyes.
I begged. My husband pretty much begged. We might as well have been on our hands and knees, telling them, please don't go. I was scared to death for them.
Based off the state of their bodies when they were found, the Gunnison County coroner estimated that they had been dead since January. Hara now just wants to protect the memory of her loved ones.
They weren't crazy at all. At all. They just really thought they could do it. So make sure you can do it before you go off the grid. Please. Please save your life, because you never know how many people care about you. Because those are the ones that are going to hurt.
The Gunnison County coroner suspects the cause of death to be starvation and exposure to the elements, but they are still waiting for the toxicology report to come back for an official determination.
All right, so there we go. So thank you again, Haley, for your question. Yeah, really sad, for sure. And they thought they could do it, and they sadly couldn't. So again, thank you for those of you who are coming in. If I hadn't said hello. We are talking about, well, in between talking about the wildfires in Maui, Hawaii, we are kind of, I'm just, if people have questions, I will look stuff up and we can talk about, other things in the meantime. So yes, so we are back to the fires in Hawaii. Oh, and yes, I don't know what that comment was, but thank you for deleting it.
In that video, that was taken from Front Street, right near the corner of Dickinson, which is, and looking down at the main business district in Lahaina, and buildings on both sides were engulfed. I think on the right, the building that you see where the second-story balcony is completely in flames, I think that's where Lahaina Pizza Company is. That might be Lahaina.
Oh, so he's saying the second story, I guess, maybe this, or maybe over here is the second story, but he's thinking that's the pizza company.
The loft, but I think it was Lahaina Pizza Company. And on the other side, the buildings towards the end of that row right before the ocean walk were completely engulfed. And I have another picture where you see the sign just suddenly burst into flames, and you realize there's like the fire just shoots out. And there were no fire trucks at that point. I think the fire department was already overwhelmed with other fires nearby. And it's amazing because that is the most important business street on Maui.
Heartbreaking videos you just saw as Mr. Dakar described the flames destroying a historic stretch of Lahaina. And people have been posting pictures and videos like this on social media, but information has been scarce because emergency agencies are in full response mode, scrambling from one scene to another. People have described the scene to us as chaotic and stressful. This appears to have stemmed from a brush fire this morning that was 100% contained.
There we go. Okay, so let me just back up a tiny bit. So,
This appears to have stemmed from a brush fire.
It stemmed from a brush fire. So there is, according to this news report, it appears to have stemmed from a brush fire. So again, not confirming that, but that's what it appeared to be started from.
Morning that was 100% contained in Lahaina before it flared up again this afternoon, blocking the highway and many other roads. The Lahaina Civic Center is open as a shelter, but any more specific details are hard to come by tonight because the authorities are telling us they are overwhelmed.
And there's yet another.
Yes, and again, this was from last night, which would have been in Hawaii last night. So again, it was when the press conference happened, it was 4 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Hawaii time, which I don't know if they're Pacific time. I think they're an hour past Pacific. I don't really know. I don't know what their time zone is.
fire burning in northeast Kihei. This one began this evening. Residents estimate it's about 1.5 miles from the Kamalani subdivision and Old Hawaiian Homestead. And we have a report of another fire that popped up in about the past hour in Wailuku. We're still getting details on that. Again, the county is scrambling to keep up right now, and hard information is hard to come by. The governor's office issued an emergency proclamation earlier today, freeing up funding and activating the National Guard to help out.
Both the state and county's emergencies are fully activated, but the situation is nowhere near under control. We turn now to our Chelsea Davis live in Ma'alaya, which is as close as she could get to the Lahaina scene. Chelsea.
Yeah, Keahi, Steph, we've talked about information hard to come by, but just minutes ago, they actually did send out new information to us. I'm going to just read it because it literally just came in minutes ago. As I mentioned, Mayor Richard Bisson has issued an emergency proclamation in response to this fire. The American Red Cross has opened Maui High School as an evacuation center, and Wahikuli residents in West Maui, they are also evacuated right now. The Coast Guard has been responding to impacted areas where residents are entering the ocean due to smoke and fire conditions. Individuals were transported by the Coast Guard to safe areas. Now, they also tell us that a firefighter who is responding to the West Maui fire has experienced smoke inhalation and was taken to the Maui Memorial Medical Center, but he...
And like just that photo as well, like the smoke, just... Yes, and from the press conference earlier, so again, this video was from yesterday in Hawaii. The press conference from this morning in Hawaii, or 4 p.m. Eastern, they did confirm that there have been 6 fatalities confirmed and that there are presently 5 shelters open for those affected.
He is in stable condition right now. Honopi'ilani Highway remains open, outbound traffic only, and motorists should expect heavy traffic. They said water buffaloes containing drinking water are located at the Kula Fire Station, Kula Community Center, Rice Park, and Crater Road. The county has requested for National Guard support. Multiple evacuation orders are in place. Structure damages have occurred, but again, no details on the extent of what those damages exactly are. Again, the American Red Cross staffing emergency shelters at Kihei Community Center, Lahaina Civic Center, and in Pukalani at the Hannibal Tavares Community Center. Pet owners are utilizing those shelters. They say they do need to have those pets properly restrained.
And so when I heard that, when I watched this, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I did watch up until about this part when they said that they are allowing pets, but the pets need to be properly restrained. That made me happy because I know a lot of shelters in certain catastrophes were not allowing pets, and that is why a lot of people chose not to leave their homes. And so that's always a good thing that, you know, they also allow pets as long as they are properly restrained.
Mention that here I'm the closest that I can get to West Maui and the safest place I can be. I'm in Ma'alaya, where police are not letting anyone through. They're not letting anyone to the west side of the island because it is not safe. Authorities are asking people to stay off of the roads completely, stay indoors. Now, occasionally we will see people fleeing the area, a trail of cars leaving West Maui, residents, visitors, just anybody trying to get to safer ground. Again, the 2 fires active right now, West Maui as well as Olinda Road between Kula and Makawao, and this huge one in Lahaina. The one in Olinda broke out shortly after midnight. The other brush fire in West Maui was reported near Lahaina Luna Road at around 6:30 this morning. Now, we spoke with a mother who tells us her son is a boarder at Lahaina Luna High School. She says they're evacuated out of West Maui completely.
So we all went on top, like social media, started looking all around, got news reports saying that there was a power outage, and not knowing that there was a fire right below the school.
At first, they were saying that it was going to Lahaina Civic Center, but there was no way in, no way out, due to down power lines and everything. So we got confirmation that they were heading out to Maui High School, to the gymnasium parking lot.
And this is video from the Kahului Airport. You can see part of that roof has ripped off of the Avis Budget Rent-A-Car building because of the extremely strong winds Maui is experiencing. And the Coast Guard, we mentioned, has been deployed to help those people who were in the water trying to escape the flames and the smoke. Again, back out here live in Ma'alaya, authorities are asking people to stay off of the road, stay indoors, let emergency crews handle this emergency situation. They will let us know when the all clear is given, but as of right now, everyone is asked to stay inside. Reporting live in Ma'alaya, I'm Chelsea Davis for Hawaii News Now.
Thank you very much, Chelsea. And now to the multiple brush fires still burning along the Kohala coast on the Big Island.
A Konipuli highway still closed between mile markers 6 and 17.
And just here, in this video, you can see the wind, just how strong that wind is, blowing stuff around. And, hopefully that hurricane is moving fast and can get out of there sooner than later.
After a fire burned about 1,800 acres there. Fire crews are still battling flare-ups near the Mauna Kea and Hapuna beach areas. Evacuations are in effect for guests at the North Fairways at Mauna Kea and the villas at Mauna Kea. Those at the resort are sheltering in place. EMS is on site providing care. Meantime, the Federal Emergency Management Agency tonight just approved the state's request for a disaster declaration. This allows for the use of federal funds to cover firefighting costs.
On Oahu, gusty winds also fueled a brush fire in Waipio, brought down trees and triggered power outages.
Our Jolani Martinez continues our team coverage tonight.
Typically, the trade winds back down in the evening, but not tonight. The hurricane spinning to our south off Diamond Head will keep this stiff breeze going through tomorrow, and there's already plenty to clean up. About 50 acres burned near the artillery range at Central Oahu Regional Park in Waipio. High winds made it tough for firefighters to get the brush fire under control. They couldn't fly their helicopter.
It was hard stopping this fire just because of the high winds. Every time we knock a section down, the winds would come and it would flare up again. So we've went back to the same area multiple times.
Over in Kalihi, residents were worried about a house fire spreading through their neighborhood.
There was just whiffs of huge black smoke and the flames all up in the sky. It was crazy.
The winds were very strong and the fire kicked up really quickly and we saw flames. It was really scary. We had chicken skin and we're just hoping that everybody was okay.
In Manoa Valley, high winds took down a utility pole, leaving hundreds without power for hours. This tree came crashing down on Makiki Heights Drive in Honolulu, barely missing drivers.
We were this close to being, having the roof of the car caved in from the tree. I mean, it was a shocking moment.
That is scary. And you can see where the tree just kind of went just behind where the cab is. Oh my gosh.
In East Oahu, the Big Sur.
And that is a view right there. Even though it seems like something very sad happened or tragic, but definitely quite the view.
Knocked down a 39-year-old woman and 12-year-old boy at Makapu'u tide pools at around 10:40 this morning. EMS says both are okay. They just got some bruising and scrapes. Honolulu Fire Department says from noon Monday into Tuesday morning, it responded to 14 downed trees and 6 downed power lines and 4 blown roofs. The National Weather Service says this shows how vulnerable the island's infrastructure can be.
If a strong event like this can cause infrastructure problems, absolutely a hurricane would definitely exacerbate that significantly.
Jolani Martinez, Hawaii News Now.
And now joining us live via Zoom is Maui County spokeswoman Mahina Martin. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Mahina, we know that it is a very busy night for you with the emergencies that you're handling right now. With that, could you give us an update on what those emergencies are at this hour.
Yes, absolutely. It's quite a situation we have here on Maui Island. Our emergency crews are responding to multiple fires across Maui. In particular, we've experiencing fires up in the upcountry area in Olinda and Kula. We have also been battling with our fire crews on the West Maui area. These are fires popping up in different locations. We have opened multiple emergency shelters throughout the island to assist our residents. At this time, both fire areas are active. Our crews, it's all hands on deck. We're here in full activation mode at the Emergency Operating Center here in Wailuku tonight.
Ms. Martin, we're trying to get a sense of the scope of this crisis. We're hearing from people on social media that they're going to pull off on the side of the highway. They don't know where they're going to stay tonight. Even though shelters are open, communication has not been great. It appears a cell phone tower may have been damaged in Lahaina. Can you give me a sense of the mood there on the island? I would imagine we're having quite a few people feeling just that they're on their own this evening.
Well, we can certainly appreciate there is a feeling of anxiety. Our focus has been on the safety of the public and the safety of our first responders. While we know that we have emergency shelters in place for those areas, we also know that there are residents and visitors as well who are trying to deal with conditions that are ever changing. Even our road closures are occurring at a fast.
Hey, Jeannie, how are you? And anyone else coming in, welcome.
Pace as our firefighters deal with fires moving unpredictably with high winds conditioned and different sources of fuel in the different parts of the island. For our residents, it's important that they evacuate if our emergency personnel advise them to evacuate, to stay safe. We recently have been experiencing currently in the West Maui area a lack of communication. The landlines were down, cell phone towers are down. So residents, of course, are very concerned with not just each other, but conditions of where they go and how do they get information. We are very fortunate that we have been able to stay very active on this fire and try to send out information. But for the lack of communication on the west side, that remains a problem for us. We know that the exit to Lahaina has been outbound only recently. Down power lines prevented exit and entry into the West Maui area for a few hours this evening as well. And that compounded all of the situations we're dealing with.
And we're looking at video of massive flames just engulfing this historic section of Front Street, destroying the businesses there. What can you tell us about the situation there, as well as whether or not people are still in the water waiting to be rescued by the Coast Guard?
We did receive reports that there were residents who had entered the ocean on the West Maui area in response to conditions of smoke and fire. The Coast Guard did respond appropriately and quickly, took them to safe areas. With regards to the fire there in Front Street and any parts of West Maui, it is fast moving, it's ever changing. Traffic is certainly compounding it. If people are not in the impacted areas, please stay off the road so that those who need to evacuate are able to evacuate.
And Ms. Martin, last question before we let you go. What is the county's most reliable communication method tonight?
We are deploying as much as we can. The mauicounty.gov is the site. Our social media platforms on both Facebook and Instagram will contain information. We also advise folks to get on mauicounty.gov and sign up for the Maui Emergency Management alerts. From that, you will also get area-specific alerts, including evacuation orders.
And Ms. Martin, actually, one more question. Is it true that members of the Hawaii Army National Guard have been activated to respond to the situation there?
We have requested assistance from state, federal, in conjunction with all county agencies. We have deployed as much assistance as we can from the state, including state.
I agree, Ange. And when cell phone service, like I don't have cable, I rely on my phone to get my alerts. So not having cell service, it's even scarier because you have no means of getting any information.
DOFA crews, state airport fire crews. We have requested assistance from National Guard. As you know, Coast Guard responded recently. We are awaiting completion of the process to our request that we put in for the National Guard.
All right, thank you so much. Our hearts go out to all the first responders on a very difficult night. And you heard it from Mahina Martin there. You sign up on the county's website for alerts. And also, of course, HawaiiNewsNow.com. We're digging for the latest information around the clock, and we will bring it to you as soon as we get information confirmed.
And we are continuing to track the conditions out there as well. The gusty winds have weakened a little, but not even close enough to normal net levels.
Well, because of that hurricane to our south and that high pressure fan to the north, our chief meteorologist Jennifer Robbins is here now with our first alert forecast. Jen.
It's incredibly heartbreaking to see all of those images as we take a closer look at what's happening. Here are the components for you. We have that high pressure fan you're talking about. That's the driving force behind our trade wind. And then a big temperature or a gradient difference or a pressure difference between that area of high pressure and also what we're seeing with Dora, a hurricane, a category 4 that's passing south of the islands, even though it's more than 500 miles to the south.
And so I was sitting here looking and saying, where the heck is Hawaii? And just right under where it says Honolulu, I didn't realize that the islands were just under the O there. So here you have that high pressure fan that she mentioned, and then you have this category 4 hurricane, and Hawaii is just right in the middle of it.
We're seeing that tight pressure gradient, and that's why we're having these winds funnel right on top of us. And as we take a closer look at the radar here, here's our first alert radar. These are actually not returns when it comes to rain. This is all the smoke and the fires that are happening right now on Maui. And you see the West Maui Mountains all the way to Lahaina and socked in with all of the fires and smoke there. So a very serious situation as we take a closer look. They've been facing gusts there easily up to 40 to 45 miles per hour. Earlier today, up to 50 miles per hour. And we know the behavior of the winds around the mountains there. It is a little bit more unpredictable. So a first alert weather day continues into the nighttime hours through the morning hours. We have a number of alerts up, including a high wind warning that's up. Also a small craft advisory for all of the islands, a gale warning on top of that. And there's the red flag warning we've been talking about for the last several days. With the powerful winds, fire danger, and power outages, that first alert weather day has been in the works the last couple of days. And we have been lighting up those days in red. And taking a closer look at the wind speeds, now these numbers are coming down. We are going to see some gusty conditions.
And again, this was yesterday, and today they said at the press conference that winds have been upwards of 60 miles per hour. So it seems as if they've actually gone back up after dying down.
Conditions into the night, but at least things are going to be relaxing quite a bit when it comes to wind speeds by tomorrow afternoon. So that's one good silver lining in all of this, but still dealing with this for tonight. East northeast winds at 15 to 30, gusts to 50, low relative humidity, dry fuels. We'll keep a very close eye on all of these elements and have your first alert forecast continue coming up soon.
Okay, so that I think is the last. Yes. Okay. So that was the last slide that I had in regards to the wildfires. So again, I will be putting the fire website that we had talked about with in regards to the Canadian wildfires on the description after the live. This next story is the Pakistani train derailment, where dozens have died, dozens were injured, and I just wanted to check something because I do have links that I forgot to open. Give me just a second here. Okay. All right, so I do have a few videos, and then we will look at some articles. And then the last story, I will be talking about the Cal Fire tragedy in Riverside County. All right, so again, this is in Pakistan, and this occurred on August 6th. And so as of this video, as many as 30 were dead, over 90 injured. And railway officials said the Hazara Express was on its way from Karachi to Rawalpindi when its 10 cars derailed near Nawabshah. And like, this is just insane. The entire undercarriage, like the car came right off the undercarriage. And the injuries of the victims were described as serious, and many were transported to the hospital. Shoot, I did it again. Dang it. Hold on, everybody. There we go. So many rushed to the scene as rescue workers continued recovery efforts into the night.
मेरी फैमिली के 7 बंदे लापता हैं मेरे मोहल्ले के मेरी गली के तकरीबन 20
And so Atisham Ali relatives are missing. 7 members of my family and 22 of my neighbors are missing. So far, we've only found 4 and the rest are still missing.
22 बंदे लापता हैं जिसमें से हमें 3 से 4 बंदे मिल चुके हैं और अभी तक लापता हैं.
The cause of the crash is not yet known, but such incidents occur frequently in Pakistan, where railway infrastructure is antiquated. And there is an article that does talk about what caused this that I will get to. An investigation is underway. Okay, so the next video. Again, this is from Al Jazeera, and this is on the scene. So Pakistan trail derailment, at least 15 killed, dozens injured.
It's just past 10 GMT, and we start with breaking news from Pakistan. At least 15 people have been killed and dozens more are injured after a train derailed in the southeastern Sindh province. 10 carriages of the Hazara Express reportedly came off the tracks. Officials say the cause isn't yet clear. Let's go straight to our Pakistan correspondent, Kamal Haider. He's joining us live from Islamabad. What more are you hearing about the accident, Kamal?
Well, we are hearing that this train, the Hazara Express, was traveling from Karachi to the city of Rawalpindi. It met with this derailment about 275 kilometers away from Karachi at a place called Nawabshah. The train station it was approaching is in a remote area. It took about an hour and a half for the first responders.
Wow. Okay. So that tells you how remote. He said a remote area. And it took about an hour and a half for the first responders rescue to arrive.
Rescue teams to arrive to pull those people out of the wreckage. 15 people now confirmed dead, dozens of them injured. So indeed, an emergency situation. Those who are wounded have been rushed to a hospital in Nawab Shah. Medical facilities in such areas are not at their best, even in the best of times. So there will be a concern that the casualties could rise.
All right, Kamal, and just how often do these kinds of accidents happen in Pakistan?
Well, Pakistan Railways is neglected. It has become obsolete. It's one of the most corrupt organizations in the country. A track record is not good at all. Pakistan has seen frequent deadly accidents of trains, and despite promises, has not done much to revamp the railway system. Now, there are talks between Pakistan and China to build brand new lines, but that will take several years. And until then, of course, people will always run the risk of traveling in these trains, which have become extremely dangerous because of the poor shape of the tracks, not to mention the equipment which has become obsolete.
All right, Kamal, thank you for that. That is Kamal.
Yes, and I believe it is similar to Amtrak. They are passenger trains. And as you know, as this reporter said, like as people travel in these trains, they're risking their lives to do so. So this is actually from France 24 English, and this also gives a little bit of a different perspective.
An all too common sight in Pakistan, the twisted wreckage of another fatal rail crash. The passenger train was en route from the southern city of Karachi to Rawalpindi when it came off the rails. Many of those on board were trapped when some of the carriages turned on their sides. Locals rushed to the scene to help.
We heard an explosion. Then we got here and we saw carriages were lying here and there. We started rescuing the injured people, including children and old people. They were in bad condition. Some of them had broken hands and legs, so we did what we could.
Emergency services quickly arrived and began pulling the dead.
Which is interesting. So now it's interesting that this news station is saying that rescue workers or emergency services quickly arrived, whereas the news article we just heard from Al Jazeera, they said emergency services didn't arrive for 90 minutes, almost 90 minutes after the accident, which tells me that those individuals who did hear this explosion, as that man said, and went to aid probably did help save a lot of lives.
And injured from the wreckage and transporting them to a nearby hospital. Officials said children are among the victims. The government has promised answers.
Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has directed all the relevant departments to take all the necessary actions. He's ordered a thorough investigation and has promised he will reveal the reasons for this accident.
But this is just the latest in a string of deadly train crashes in Pakistan. In the last 10 years alone, more than 300 people have been killed in collisions and derailments across the country. The state-owned railway dates from the 19th century, and many of its systems have not been modernized.
Like, that is crazy to me. Like, that wreckage.
Lax safety standards have also been blamed on corruption and mismanagement. During a Supreme Court tribunal in 2020, the then Chief Justice called the railway the most corrupt state institution in Pakistan and said every passenger was in danger.
Okay, so I do have a few articles that have a little bit, the images are a little bit better and they give a little bit more of updates. So this first article is from, I think, the BBC. Yes, BBC. And this was from 2 days ago, so this would have been from August 7th. Pakistan passenger train derails, killing 30. And so this image, I'm assuming that where these people are standing, that's the track the train was on. But then again, I'm not sure, because up here, it just looks like I don't even know what's happening. So this is just, like I keep saying, insane. Insane. At least 30 people have been killed and 100 injured when a train derailed in southern Pakistan, a police spokesman has confirmed. Several carriages of the Hazara Express overturned near Sahara railway station in Nawabshah, about 171 miles from the largest city, Karachi. Wounded passengers were moved to nearby hospitals. Rescue teams are trying to free people from the twisted wreckage. Accidents on Pakistan's antiquated railway system are not uncommon. Videos posted on social media showed dozens of people at the site of the accident, with some passengers climbing out of the overturned carriages. One passenger who survived told BBC Urdu he had seen many women and children lying on the ground. They were shouting and screaming. I didn't know what to do. I filled my hands with water from this canal nearby and poured it on the faces of those who were unconscious, hoping they would regain consciousness, Nasir Ahmad said. Nasir said he survived the accident because he, quote, fell out the window when the train derailed, end quote. Aslam, who was on the train with his son, said, quote, we were sleeping when suddenly the carriage came down and it felt like an apocalypse. Railway Minister Saeed Rafiq said initial investigations showed the train was traveling at normal speed and that they were trying to establish what led to the derailment. It could be the result of a mechanical fault or sabotage, he added. And so here is, let me just zoom out a little bit. So you have, this is the area. So you have Pakistan next to India, and then now Nawabshah is here, accident here, and then India would be to the right. Authorities have dismissed reports the track was flooded. A railway spokesperson in Karachi said at least 8 carriages went off the track. He said military and paramilitary troops, along with rescue workers, were on the scene and helped to rescue passengers trapped inside the train carriages. The most seriously injured passengers were transported to distant, better-equipped hospitals in military helicopters. Officials said rescue operations were completed in the early evening on Sunday. And so here is another image. And again, I have no idea what track the train was actually on. But you can see a lot of military people here. This is crazy. An emergency has been declared in the main hospitals in Nawabshah and neighboring districts of Sindh. Train services to the interior districts of Sindhi have been suspended. Sindhi Information Minister Sarjeel Memon told BBC News that the government's top priority was the rescue work, which we are totally focused on. In 2021, 2 trains traveling in Sindhi province collided, killing at least 40 people and injuring dozens. Between 2013 and 2019, 150 people died in such incidents, according to local media reports. Yeah, they did say it was a remote area. Let me see. Let's see. It was in... Let me look up Nawabshah. I'm going to take a look and see. Here we go, Nawabshah, Pakistan. All right, so let me just have this go where it needs to go. All right, so we're gonna check out. So this is Nawabshah, where is right here. This is the town. The accident site was just south of that. So let me see, where is Karachi? Here's Karachi. Okay. So that was that one map they showed, Karachi, and then you have, we keep zooming, hopefully it's where it needs to be. It is not. Come on now, Google Earth. Let me go back here. I wasn't even close. So it does look, I mean, the city itself, but if you go just south, so let's say, you know, about here, it doesn't look like there's a lot going on. It looks like a lot of farmland. Because you have the city up here, and then you have not a whole lot going on. And then did it say a different, it said a different, oh, Cindy. Let's look up where that is. Here we go, Sindh, Pakistan. Oh, okay, so Sindh. Okay, so this area is Sindh apparently. So there's Karachi. And then okay, maybe I should have used a different method here. But anyways, it seems like there wasn't a whole lot out there. So I'm guessing based on roads and other means of travel, being a remote location, possibly that is why it took so long. Yeah, definitely mountainous. I have 5 cat carriers in case of emergency. I realized having only one would lead to a Sophie's Choice moment. I only need 4 now. Hey, I actually thought about that, and I only have 2 cat carriers, but I have 8 cats, and I would listen. I would shove them in there. I mean, you can be close. They'd be so close they couldn't fight, so that actually would work out well. A cat carrier is like, it's hard to explain. You like carry your animals in it. Yeah, like a travel. Yeah. Okay, so this article here is from August 7th. So again, 2 days ago. And rail service in southern Pakistan is partially restored after train crash that killed 30 people. And so this image is fascinating. All of those wheels, but again, it looks like they're fixing the rail in this. So this must be just a pile of the wheels they put atop each other. So Multan, Pakistan. Let me look up Multan, Pakistan. Multan, Pakistan. Okay, so Multan is actually a pretty big city. Passenger rail service was partially restored Monday in southern Pakistan, a day after a train derailed in the region, killing at least 30 people and injuring scores. Family were holding funerals for the victims of the crash. According to Akil Ahmad Qureshi, a doctor at a hospital in the district of Nawabshah in Sindhi province, 27 bodies of the victims have been handed over to relatives for burials, while 3 have still to be identified. Dozens of injured people remained in hospital as funerals got underway on Monday. Railways Minister Khawaja Syed Rafiq said engineers had opened a probe into the train accident. Unfortunately, he told reporters, we don't have enough funds to properly maintain our aging railway tracks, and yesterday's train crash apparently took place because of it. Sunday's crash happened when 10 cars of the Hazara Express train went off the tracks near Sarhari railway station. The train traffic was suspended, and work on the main line is still underway. And the last article is from yesterday, and this gives what they believe caused the accident. So, Pakistan train derailment, missing fish plates, damaged track caused Hazara Express crash. The Hazara Express derailment, which caused over 30 deaths and scores of injuries, happened due to missing fish plates and a broken track, revealed a preliminary report. After checking from all the aspects, we came to the conclusion that the accident took place due to fresh rail broken and fish plates missing, said the report released by the 6-member Pakistan Railways Inquiry Team on Monday, as per Dawn. Dawn is a Pakistani English language newspaper that was launched in 1941. The team also identified the locomotive skidding among other reasons that caused the derailment. The report, which was seen by Dawn, said that the train engine had departed the site without being examined by senior employees. Beyond the accident point, little hitting spots were discovered on the wooden terminal and iron fish plates. Hence, the engineering branch and mechanical branch are held responsible for this accident, it reads. According to the document, sabotage cannot be denied because the derailed carriages were pulled 750 feet. 2 team members provided dissenting notes, stating that he did not agree with the report. One member said the derailment took place due to 2 fish plates missing, broken rail, and engine derailment inside the track due to spread of the gauge. Resultantly, the grazing marks were also found visible on the outside the wheel disc. Also, no heating marks were observed on the track, fish plates, and bolts. According to, I gotta zoom in on this. Oh, dang it. Okay, well, it's going to cut off a little bit, but that writing was really small. According to the other dissenting official, the actual cause of derailment was due to engine axle jammed, resulting deep fling, which left hitting marks as fish plates. This deepness increased with the continuous jamming, resulting breakage of fish bolts for the missing fish plates. A Pakistan railway official told Dawn that it was very initial probe report, as the final one will take some time to prepare. A detailed probe in this regard is underway as the federal government inspector of railways, a grade 22 officer, is on site to find out the reason behind this tragedy. Pakistan and India got independence from Britain, but there is an unusual difference in infrastructure and development in both countries, not only in locomotion, but also in other state institutes. Old rails and historic bridges make Pakistan railways dangerous and unsafe. Over the system, there are 13,841 bridges, including 532 major and 13,309 minor ones. Surprisingly, practically all of the bridges were built when the subcontinent's railway system was inaugurated in 1870. So that definitely is old infrastructure. The Pakistan Railways restored and rehabilitated bridges in various phases as a result of flood damage, according to a yearbook 2013-14 at an estimated cost of 1,432 million Pakistan rupees. Pakistan Railways, a public body, ignored its commercial viewpoint and suffered long-term consequences. Worldwide, railroads are regarded as the most affordable form of transportation. But in Pakistan, it is made difficult due to expensive fares, lack of punctuality, and uneasy journeys. Theft of rail tracks, engines, and particular parts have been commonplace for decades. Oh, and that's it. All right, so the last thing we are going to talk about today is the Cal Fire tragedy, and I just closed down the articles I needed. So give me just un momento. Okay. All right, and I did cut out the video earlier that was giving me issues. I'm hoping that this, because of that, and my knock on wood, my internet has been working the way it should be. So again, this is the Cal Fire helicopter crash, and again, these go in order from oldest to newest, so that there is a newer video at the end, and then I have 2 articles that we'll read. I think I have 3 videos. Actually, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos.
Breaking news out of Cabazon, where there's been a deadly crash.
All right, I'm hitting play. Why aren't you playing? Maybe it's this video. This video is giving me issues too. Let me go to this video and see if this works. Okay, so it's that video. So the one video that I took out, and then that last video was giving me issues too. It was the videos, because this one I just hit play and it worked. So I don't know what's going on with those 2 videos.
Now at 11, breaking news in Riverside County. A firefighting helicopter has crashed in the desert. Tonight, we're learning more about what caused it to go down. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the news at 11. I'm Rick Chambers.
And I'm Corrine Winter. That fiery helicopter crash, it happened in...
I don't have a happy story for you at the end, but I believe I can find one. Actually, I have one that we're going to watch. I have one that's really fun.
Cabazon.
Yeah, officials say that this aircraft was under contract to battle wildfires all across Riverside County, but so far, no word yet on any injury or death.
The helicopter crashed in a remote area of Cabazon.
I got you, Team Brittany. I appreciate you being here.
Near Pipeline Road and Apache Trail. Our Rachel Manitoff is live at the scene with the latest on this breaking news. Rachel.
Corrine, Rick, this crash happened as firefighters on board were responding to a brush fire here in Riverside County around 7:20 tonight. I'm told that there may have been an accidental collision between 2 choppers mid-air, and we have seen the coroner arrive on scene. And so unfortunately, we can assume that fatalities are involved. We're not able to see the actual aircraft or the crash site from where we're standing, but you may be able to see these ambulances here behind us. As you mentioned, this is a remote area in Cabazon, not far from the Morongo Casino Resort. And to give you an idea of exactly where we are, this crash happened near the area of Pipeline Road and Apache Trail, according to the Sheriff's Department. And that's where we are right now. We do have some video to show you of the immediate aftermath of this crash. Fire crews were battling a 20-acre fire called the Broadway Fire at the time. The helicopter, I'm told, contracts with Cal Fire to battle active fires all around the state of California. It was either en route or actively battling this particular fire. It's unknown how many people were on board the chopper and how many people may have died as a result of this crash. The circumstances surrounding this crash are unknown, and the details right now are very limited. Back out here live, you can see one of those emergency vehicles leaving the scene right now, and we'll probably get a better look of the aircraft and the crash site tomorrow morning. We are anticipating a press conference at midnight at the Riverside County Fire Station, and so we are going to be learning much more about the circumstances surrounding this crash very soon. That's the very latest from Cabazon. I'm Rachel Menitoff. I'll send it.
Okay. And I did, what is going on here? Why is this completely black? Oh, Emmy. Hold on, everybody. Did I forget to put, hold on. No, my computer is freezing. What is happening? Okay, so my computer is frozen. So I'm just going to talk to y'all for a minute. I don't know if y'all can hear me. I see, okay, I can see myself on my phone talking. My computer is being obnoxious, so give me 1 second. All right. It seems like I just looked. Everything should be working fine. I don't know what's happening. All right, let me shut down. Sorry about that. I just kicked myself out. Okay, so let's try this again, shall we? I don't know what is going on with this thing. Okay, so we looked at that. So this is the one we're on. Okay. Actually, let me close some of these. Okay, so hopefully it works. I don't know what just happened. My computer just froze. Maybe I was clicking buttons too fast, but I don't know. It's working now.
Brooke, Christina, we've been watching more crews arrive as the investigation into exactly what caused this, how it happened, is underway this morning. And you can see some of the activity here behind me. You may be able to make out some of the wreckage on the road there. This crash just south of the 10 freeway in Cabazon and east of Banning, and it caused a huge response from Riverside County sheriffs, CHP, the U.S. Forest Service, and now NTSB officials are on the scene. Take a look at the video. Aerial's showing you the crash site from up above. This is what we know so far. The three who lost their lives in what's described as an Observer Bell helicopter were a CAL FIRE division.
Jenny D, I don't think she's gonna give me one of her computers after my video the other day, but I don't know what's going on with it. I restarted it earlier because I knew I don't restart my computer like I should. I'm really bad at it, but I've been trying to shut it down at night and then turn it back on in the morning. I don't know what it's doing. I might have to just do like a system restore and go back, because even my Google's being weird. I think it has to do with my virus program, but I need to figure something out because that was annoying.
Chief, a CAL FIRE captain, and a contracted pilot. Now, the other helicopter, a Sikorsky Sikorsky S-64 helicopter, also known as a sky crane with 2 on board, was able to land safely after that collision. Emergency crews rushing to this area. This was near Apache Trail and Bonita Avenue around 7:20 last night. And those helicopters had been called to a nearby fire, the Broadway fire that started roughly an hour earlier before spreading to about 3 acres. CAL FIRE's Southern Region Chief David Fulcher led a news conference overnight. Here's what he had to say about those 3 victims.
We have lost 3 great individuals, 3 fathers, 3 husbands, 3 friends, 3 sons, and we want to tell everyone, while this sacrifice should not be in vain, that we think about them. We will be there to support them.
And this is a look at the somber procession making its way here from the crash site to the Riverside County Coroner's Office, about 25 miles away. Firefighters and police drove those 3 bodies. Both of the helicopters we know were under contract to work for CAL FIRE, the only 2 assigned to this fire. So again, and the investigation underway this morning, still so many unanswered questions. We expect an update from fire officials this morning, and we'll have that here on Good Day LA a little later. For now, reporting live in Cabazon, I'm Mario Ramirez.
Oh, hold on, y'all. I clicked the button. All right, so this again is a crash update.
Yeah, the side of the crash is literally
And I just want to check the date on this. This actually, I don't have a date. Okay, so this actually is from today. Okay, so this is the update from today where this woman does speak about the NTSB and any details, any newer details that we may need to know about. Oh, you want to see the blind? But okay, so I can actually, we can watch that. And then I have another video that I was thinking about that we can also watch that is really cute and really funny.
Yeah, the side of the crash is literally across the 10 freeway from the Morongo, from where the casino is up in the hills. Conditions yesterday were good visibility for small brush fires, 6 aircraft on the air, a little bit of wind like in this area. NTSB just arrived this afternoon, and here's what they're saying.
Our purpose during the on-scene investigation is to gather perishable information. Information that will not exist once the wreckage has been disturbed. Our plan is to document the wreckage before relocating into a secure facility in Arizona.
I can tell you they're going to be flying some drones. Now, in terms of the 2 firefighters aboard that helicopter, I can tell you something about them. Both of them highly experienced. Rodriguez, you're going to see in a minute in my package, he used to post videos all the time of the fires he covered, and we followed each other on Twitter, so I put some of that in there. But in terms of experience, you couldn't find people with better or any more than them. Take a look.
Firefighters look at these individuals, these tanker pilots and helicopter pilots. There are angels in the sky.
Mourning the loss of 3 of those angels who died while fighting a brush fire in Cabazon. Their Observer Bell helicopter crashing after a mid-air collision with a larger Sikorsky water-dropping helicopter. The Sikorsky landed safely, but the Bell exploded into flames, killing 3 aboard.
Positive contact with 37 Sierra. They're set down on the west side of Cabazon. No injuries to 37 Sierra, the second helicopter.
We have lost 3 great individuals, 3 fathers, 3 husbands, 3 friends.
A contract pilot, his name was Tony Shusa.
Also on board, Division Chief Joshua Bishop, 24 years on the force, fighting enormous blazes like the 2018 Camp Fire, which destroyed Paradise, California.
Oh, there we go. 2018 was the Paradise, California fire.
He helps out with the training with different individuals on how to manage aircraft over an incident. Also, we had Fire Captain Tim Rodriguez. He was a fire captain, heliTAC captain at Hemet Ryan Air Attack Base.
Rodriguez, who would post videos on fires, including this one of the 2021 Chaparral fire, at least 15 years on the force.
I was fortunate enough to work side by side with these 2 individuals. Not only were they great firemen, but they were also great individuals always had a smile on their face, always helping other people. So it's a tremendous loss to our fire department family, but also a tremendous loss to those family members.
Now, I can tell you one of the things NTSB is going to have to look at is that Bell helicopter is acting as a spotter. It's helping the ground crews direct the squirkies, for example, into the water drops. How come it ended up flying at the same level? Because usually the spotters, the observers, are at one level, and the dropping helicopters are at different levels so that this does not happen. So why they were at the same level, they usually even fly in different directions, counterclockwise and clockwise. So how they ended up together is a real mystery. I don't ever remember a mid-air collision, CAL FIRE before. We've had accidents, but nothing like this. So we'll let you know more as we find out. But NTSB here, and they'll be working through the night. In Cabazon Live, I'm Christina Gonzalez. Back to you guys in the studio.
So, Christina, NTSB arriving this morning. They held that news conference about 4:30. We covered it live here. They didn't say a lot, except that, for one thing, that the investigation is going to take some time. When do we think we'll get some of the reports, some of the information?
So what will happen now is they'll be here overnight. They're going to fly the drone. Then they're going to move the whole thing. Once they have everything recorded, they're going to move everything to a special place in Arizona. It usually takes, we get a preliminary within 3 months, but the actual report can take 18 months. So it will be a while. They publish it, but it will be a while before we get some answers. But if something really unusual like this happens, it may be a little sooner. They're pretty interested in what happened here.
Our thoughts and prayers with Josh, Tim, and Tony and their families, of course. All right, Christina, thanks so much.
Okay, so I do have 2 articles that I wanted to talk about, and then we will get into our feel-good videos at the end of this live. So this is from the LA Times, and I hope I can read this whole thing. I read it earlier, but sometimes they say, like, you know, you've already got your limit. Authorities investigate Cabazon helicopter crash that killed 3. Quote, this should never happen. A spray of pink retardant marked a rocky hillside in Riverside County on Monday, where only hours earlier 2 firefighting helicopters were involved in a rare and fatal collision while battling a small blaze, and it could be years before officials determined how it happened. The tragedy in the skies over Cabazon left 3 people dead and authorities scrambling to discern what could have gone wrong. The 2 choppers struck each other at 6:55 p.m. Sunday, with one crashing and the other landing safely. Quote, this is clearly a failure of command and control to have 2 airplanes in the vicinity of the fire at the same time, said Robert Ditchie, an aviation expert who reviewed the incident. Somebody really screwed up. The 3 people killed in the crash were identified as California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection Assistant Chief Joshua Bischoff, 46, Cal Fire Captain Tim Rodriguez, 44, and contract pilot Tony Sousa, 55. The aircraft that crashed was a Bell 407 helicopter that was responsible for observation and coordination. The second helicopter, a Sikorsky S-64E, also called a Sky Crane, was able to make a safe landing with 2 people on board. Although firefighting aircraft have been involved in crashes in the past, experts say the mid-air collision of 2 helicopters. Investigators with the National Transportation Safety Board arrived Monday afternoon to document evidence. Elazar Nepomuceno, an aviation accident investigator with the NTSB, said the full investigation could take up to 2 years to complete, at the end of which the board would issue its final determination on the cause of the collision. Yeah, Exactly, Sinner. Oh, here, I ended here. Napa Messino was part of the investigation team dispatched to Cabazon on Monday. Others involved included an FAA official and representatives for the manufacturers and companies that operated the helicopters. Our plan, he said, is to document the wreckage before relocating it to a secure facility on the ground, said Ditchy, the aviation expert. And I love how they refer to him as the aviation expert. Like, why is he an expert? What did he do? What is his resume? He's just the aviation expert. It was likely that the Bell chopper, if there's another airplane on that very critical path. He said, however, he did not think the pilots were to blame. This should never happen because nobody should be there without the specific approval of the fire control chief. This is a command and control problem, in my opinion. For that reason, the NTSB and Federal Aviation Administration investigations will probably focus on the ground hold on a second. My StreamYard is showing there's a low connection. What the heck, StreamYard? Oh, there we go. I forgot to unmute myself. Okay, so I'm on my phone again. I don't know what's happening with StreamYard. It's not letting me. It's saying it can't access my devices. It says close any other applications that might be using your camera or mic. Well, guess what, StreamYard? Nothing else is. Only you are using my stuff. So, I don't even know, like, I'm going to just try to restart Chrome again because this is insane. This is insanity, StreamYard. Like, everything was going fine, and you had to screw everything up. All right, well, now it seems StreamYard seems to think that I exist again. Let's see. Let's hope this works. Oh, look. Ooh. Sorry, y'all. All right. All right, so I'm back. So I'm going to just keep my phone in the background just in case. Hey, Bama. So I don't know what the heck just happened. StreamYard just completely, yeah. StreamYard just completely kicked me out and then said, we can't identify your devices. Well, get it together, would you? Please and thank you, StreamYard. All right, so let's see if I can finish this article. Because we still have two videos to watch at the end. Fun videos. And actually, let me just see how. Oh, this is a really long article. So we're gonna stop because that's a really long article. So I will make sure that I put that link in the description as well, just in case anyone wants to read the rest of that. But because StreamYard is being an idiot, I am going to move to this one that talks about the firefighters who perished in this crash. And so this is titled "The Absolute Best Firefighters Who Died in California Helicopter Collision Remembered." And this is from the East Bay Times. As federal investigators on Monday, August 7th, tried to learn why two helicopters collided over a brush fire in Cabazon, the two Cal firefighters who perished Sunday, along with their pilot, were remembered as mentors and friends. Riverside County Assistant Chief Josh Bishop, 46, and Captain Tim Rodriguez, 44, were aboard the Bell 407 helicopter along with a contract pilot, Tony Sousa, 55, above the Broadway fire about 6:45 p.m. when it collided with a Sikorsky S-64 helicopter, better known as a Sky Crane, which had two people aboard. The Bell crew, in a spotter helicopter, was guiding other helicopters at the scene. The much larger Sky Crane, which drops water or retardant, landed safely. Both helicopters were under contract to work for CAL FIRE and were housed at Hemet Ryan Air Attack Base. CAL FIRE and the governor's office identified the firefighters and the pilot late Monday morning. These two men were the absolute best the fire service has ever had, Silvio Lanzas, a former CAL FIRE Riverside County Division Chief and Glendale Fire Chief, wrote in an Instagram post. Devoted fathers, husbands, leaders, mentors, friends, and absolute warriors on the fire ground. Josh and I went to air attack school together, Lanza said. We grew up with our families camping and vacationing together. An incredible human. T-Rod was a firefighter when I got qualified as an air attack and later would become a mentor and a dear friend to my son. A consummate professional and as humble as they come, I saw him and referenced him in my speech at my son's wedding just a few weeks ago. Lanza said that his son Isaiah flew with both men many times out of Hemet Ryan. Bishop was a resident of Menifee, according to a social media post from the city, and served as the battalion chief in that city for more than 3 years. Bishop recently had been promoted to assistant chief and was assigned to air operations out of the Sacramento office, although he had been working at Hemet Ryan to train others on aerial firefighting. Don Camp, who worked for CAL FIRE for 20 years before retiring this year, said Bishop reached out to him when he was promoted to battalion chief and provided constructive criticism. The big things that stood out about Josh were his integrity and his character, said Camp, who described Bishop as an airplane and helicopter guru. He was unswerving. Not only did he seek out opportunities to make himself better, but also to make all of us better as a team, whether it was a new firefighter working for him at the base or a fellow chief officer. The Southern California News Group has reached out to the company that provided the helicopters on contract to CAL FIRE for information on the pilot. By mid-morning Monday, a pair of NTSB investigators were at the crash site. One of them, Alazar, later told reporters their main goal was to find and protect, quote, perishable information, end quote, that might offer clues to what led to the crash. That includes information that will not exist once the wreckage has been disturbed. That includes things like witness statements. He said witnesses already being interviewed include CAL FIRE firefighters and Riverside County Sheriff's deputies who were on scene when the crash occurred. Nepomuceno said the investigators would be reviewing the maintenance records of both helicopters and the flying records of both pilots. He said within a day they would also bring out a drone to survey the entire crash site from the air. All right, and this is just, actually, this is new stuff down here. Data from the website flightaware.com show that the Bell spotter plane was lower than the sky crane just before the collision. The Bell took off from Hemet Ryan at 6:34 p.m., followed by the sky crane 3 minutes later. The Bell did a brief circle about 2/3 of the way on the 20-mile trip. At 6:41 p.m., the Bell was at an elevation of 4,000 feet, and the sky crane was at 2,931 feet. At 6:43 p.m., the Bell was at 2,425 feet, and the sky crane was at 4,000 feet. At 6:45:12, the Bell was at 2,425 feet, and the sky crane 2 seconds later was at 3,000 feet. At 6:45:30, the Bell was at 2,400 feet, and the sky crane was at 2,700 feet. What's unclear is how far apart the helicopters were horizontally. The Bell crashed at 6:45:46, and the sky crane landed at 6:45:49. So that is interesting as well. And I don't know anything about this flightaware.com, but apparently it was monitoring their movements. So I will also link this article as well because it's pretty lengthy, and I've been on for quite some time now, and as we know, StreamYard's not being very cooperative. So the last, actually, there was one more thing that I wanted to share before we got to, and I want to thank Team Brittany. I'm not sure if Team Brittany is still here, but Team Brittany did share this news release with me, and the release date was August 7th, which was Monday. And so, excuse me, Paris, California, CAL FIRE Riverside County Fire Chief Bill Weiser sadly announced the line of duty deaths of 2 CAL FIRE employees and 1 contract pilot. The incident occurred on the Broadway fire in the community of Cabazon on Sunday, August 6th. Quote, "Our hearts are broken at the loss of our colleagues, mentors, and friends. Josh and Tim were exceptional firefighters and people. We grieve with their families and loved ones, and our prayers are with them." Cal Fire Assistant Chief Josh Bishop had 24 years of service, and Cal Fire Captain Tim Rodriguez had 19 years of service. And so on the left is Cal Fire Assistant Chief Josh Bishop, and on the right, Captain Tim Rodriguez. Oh, thank you, Team Brittany. It's a website to track planes, helicopters, etc. Interesting. I don't think I've ever heard of it. And it says a photo of pilot Tony Sousa will follow. Please keep the Bishop, Rodriguez, and Sousa families, friends, and fire families in your thoughts and prayers. Okay, so last thing. Let me go to YouTube. So y'all know I love raccoons. So to end this, we are going to watch a video from the Raccoon Saloon. Well, it's not the Raccoon Saloon. It's just called Raccoon Saloon. Oh, you little shit. My cat just ran. Like, I thought they were going to run across the keyboard. I don't know what they're doing. There's two of them acting like maniacs. Actually, you know what? Let me just go to Raccoon Saloon. And if you haven't subbed up to Raccoon Saloon, please do. And they did monetize, so I did become a member because they use all of the proceeds to help feed the raccoons. And so this video, we're not going to watch the whole thing because, well, maybe we will. But when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is me and Betty. So Raccoon Saloon has two albino raccoons. One is called Butter and one is called Blondie. So there's Blondie and Butter. So there's a total of, I think they said 18 new babies. And then there's at least 3 mamas. I don't know if there was a 4th mama came in or not. But so these two were having a fight in the recliner. The hot dogs were funny. That guy is funny too. Like when they were giving them the little hot dogs, oh my gosh. And now he has a little picnic table for them. It is so freaking cute. So Raccoon Saloon, when I first started watching them, it was back in, I would say like October, November is when I first discovered them. And then I would watch them and they only had like maybe 9,000 subs, maybe 8,000. And now they're almost to 20,000, which is insane. Like they only had one camera when I started watching them. Now they have cameras all throughout and they have skunks there. There's little baby skunks. They're so freaking cute. But anyways, my point is they never used to do videos. And so only maybe like 2 to 3 months ago, they started doing like clip videos of like what happened throughout the day. And so this one, when I saw, I was like, oh my gosh, this is Betty and I scrapping because there's a Blondie and, you know, like the brunette raccoon. So we're going to just take a look quick. And again, if somebody can drop Raccoon Saloon link, I would much appreciate it. Oh, you meant to tell me to check it out. I did. So in one of our videos, well, in one of my lives, we actually did watch his video where he was feeding them hot dogs. It was so stinking cute. And now he's got like the little picnic table. Oh my gosh, I can't. Okay, so you can see, I don't know if this is Blondie or Butter. Either way, Betty's got blonde hair, so she's Blondie. And then this is me. This is, you know, the dark-haired raccoon. Okay, so apparently Junior is the dark-haired raccoon. Oh, look, there's the other. So Blondie and Butter are both here. So here comes, I don't know who this is. But now this one's coming to help out, apparently. Or not. They're like, forget you. And I love how they have like the little squeaky toy. Like they do like the squeaky toy and the sound. It's so funny. So this, I think, I don't know if this is the, I'll wait, because there's a part that's really funny. And these are kits. They were born this spring. So I know. Fighting over a recliner, exactly. But these kits were born this spring. Okay, this part is funny because here this one is going to be holding on by his toes, and then just watch. It's so funny. So Blondie's like, gotcha. So definitely I'm gonna stop it there, but definitely check out Raccoon Saloon. They have so many funny videos, and if you become a member, which I am, they have actually, you know what, let me reshare just so y'all can see what I'm talking about. So they have a bunch of different live cams, but then there is a video. They do have a video where, let me see, oldest. It's probably under oldest. Maybe not. They have, oh, here, let me click on popular. Oh, yes. So if you click on popular, you're going to, there's a house tour. So you can see this was from December of 2022. So just a few months ago. And they have added so much stuff to the Raccoon Saloon. And actually, I want to just play this one real quick because this one's funny too. So this was a while ago. Now they have a tire swing. The babies have a tire swing. But this was a treat ball that they hung up for them. And the music pretty funny too. Here, we'll fast forward a little bit. All right, come on. Just because I fast forwarded. All right, well, I'm just gonna, so this raccoon, watch. Hey, Rowdy. So this raccoon just kept swinging on the treat ball. So yes, they have, and so they have, you can see they have a ton, and I don't remember, was it this? There was a video they had. Maybe it was, oh yeah, this one. The albino kit named Butter is up to his tricks. He did not want anyone on this tire swing, and he was all about, he was going after anybody who was trying to get onto his tire swing. And of course now it's not going to show it because, just because. But definitely check out their videos because they're really funny. But what I wanted to go here is because if you click live, they have a ton of live cams. And so when I started watching back in, say, October, November, they only had this living room camera. That's the only camera they had. And now they have, well, actually I lied. They did have the north view. So they had the security cameras. So like the driveway, the north view, the outside cameras. But if you're a member, which I am, you get to see the multi-view, which you can see. Is there a raccoon in there already? I'm going to have to go look. But you can see all the views at the same time. So now, instead of having to click on every live video, I can just click on, that. Oh, there are, oh my God. Look how look at these little chonkers. So this is, I'm not going to play it, but they're so funny. So definitely check them out because, yeah, brunettes, stay off the swing, please. And so these two, so there is a group of new kits. These look like the newer babies. There's new babies that just started exploring maybe 2 weeks ago. These look like the new babies. So there's probably a total of, gosh, there's probably 18 babies there now, maybe more. But you can watch them live, and then I like it because you can rewind if you wanted to. Oh yeah, there's nobody. I thought there was anybody there. But I thought I saw 2 raccoons when I was looking at it. So yes, these little babies are, oh, look at this one's tired. He's like, oh, I'm so tired. Let me eat my food laying down. He's so cute. So after all of the craziness on YouTube, this is what I do. Yes, they will live there forever. So the story of Raccoon Saloon, this is an abandoned house. And if you check out the house tour, the calendar, I believe, is from 1970 something. I don't want to say the year because I know I'm probably not right. But 1970 something. It's an abandoned hunting house. And so this guy, Mike, and his wife I don't know how they came upon it, but they do have a video that also tells the history. I think or maybe it's a community post. Oh, look at the little babies. That's the little babies. Oh, and there's a little skunky. There's a few skunkies that come for dinner too. They're really cute. Oh yeah, so it is the community post. They have like the history of the house. So this was the house, when it was at its heyday, I would say. Right now, only this part of the house stands. Like the 2 barns, as far as I know, are gone, as well as like this second part. But here's like an older, and so they kind of give the history of the house. But it was abandoned. This guy and his wife, they put up cameras. Oh my gosh, this little baby. Oh yeah, this little baby. So this was 2 months ago. His name is, shoot, now I forgot his name. But his mama brought his siblings out to hunt and left him behind, and it had been over a day. So this guy, Mike, and his wife rescued the baby and brought the baby to a rehab facility. Dart. I think his name is Dart. Dart. D-A-R-T. Yep, they're free to come and go. And in the winter, he only feeds them every other day because he wants them to still go out and hunt because they are chonkers. So you can see like just their cover photo. They look like engorged ticks. Kind of like the hot dog guy. James, his name is James. I forgot his last name. But they're like the raccoons he feeds. They're like engorged ticks. They're little chonkers. So definitely check them out because they're so freaking cute. Look at the little baby. Oh, Snugs. That's his name, not Dark. Snugs. Snugs is the one that they had rescued. And so this guy, he'll hide marshmallows now, and he does all kinds of stuff. He gives them cheese doodles every so often. He did give them Fruit Loops. One day they weren't really happy. They didn't really like the Fruit Loops. Hey, Bama, I should say. And anyone else coming in? Oh, I'm like way behind. I just realized because I just saw Bash say 2 Emmys again. Yes, thankfully I didn't have to use my other Emmy again. Oh no, they do go out to hunt, and yep, they still go out to hunt, and he fills up their in the winter. He even bought heated water bowls. So he had, he plugged in these water bowls so that the water wouldn't freeze. And I think the newest video, he did like a marshmallow hunt or something. He hit a bunch of marshmallows. And so they were, oh yeah, Mallow Mania, I think it's called, the video. They get to hunt marshmallows. Yeah, so definitely check them out because it's the best. And there's this butter. All right, we're going to do one more, y'all. I got to get off the site. But we're going to do one more quick little snippet of a video. But definitely go back and watch these because they're so funny. So one of the cameras is the playroom, and for some reason the raccoons know to go there to do WrestleMania. They just always are acting like they're nuts. So here, let me just go. So this, they put in a hamster wheel for the raccoons, and they love it. So here, there's 2 of them. And so there's all the babies. They're wild. And they're so fun. Oh, yes. I'm sorry, Jenny. I forgot about that. I was so excited about my raccoons. So actually, because Butter ends up, here's Butter. Butter's like, I am the only one that gets to play with the toys. So here, they're fighting. He's like, get off my wheel. He's like, yes, it's all to myself. And of course, my computer's going to act up. All right. Well, that tells me that it's time to stop watching raccoons because I've been on here, I think, almost 3 hours now. So definitely check out. I know Butter is a professional. And I remember when that first, because there's 2 different litters that have a blondie. So clearly the dad is a blondie. Or not. I don't know if, I'm guessing being albino is genetic in raccoons. I don't know. I'm not a raccoon geneticist, but when the first blondie was born, when they started like crawling around, you're always like, they look like they could be, albino. And then there was a second one. So now there's 2 albino raccoons, and they're spitfires. They're like, we're not messing around. We're not messing around. Yeah, but Butter and Blondie. No, I don't think raccoons hibernate. Yeah. They go out. I mean, they have the feeder that drops treats, and then they have their cat food they get. So that's why I was like, why not become a member? I think it's $5 a month. And I mean, it goes towards taking care of the raccoons. And now there's like 25 or more. And then there's a skunk and all her babies. So, I mean, they do a lot for those animals. So, yes. All right, y'all. So I have been here way too long. I'm getting hungry, almost 3 hours. But it was good because I really wanted to get to those stories and I wanted to talk about them because now, as somebody had said earlier, I think it was, no, I don't remember the name because I need to see it to say it correctly, but it started with a C. There's just too many stories and not enough time. So I hope you all have a great night. I will not be going live later unless something really important happens. Let's hope that it doesn't, because that means, a quiet night is a good night. And tomorrow I don't know if I'm going to do my 12:30 live on cases. Maybe I will, because there are some stories like I want to get to. And then tomorrow at 4:30, we have Betty Bingo. So let's hope she gives us some fun things to talk about, because today, what I saw today wasn't really that exciting. That's true. They could just close their little doors to their bedrooms and turn up the heat. Yeah. And, yeah. They actually do have the overboat. So there's like a boathouse and then it's called the overboat. The guy did there's like some old chairs and then he threw some cat beds in there and they fight over the chair in there too. It's so funny. And they act so much like cats. And that's why I always say, like, if I didn't have cats, I would have a raccoon. Although raccoons can get really mean. I mean, cats can too, but raccoons can get really mean. So, if I had a raccoon, it would just be one raccoon. It wouldn't be more than one. But anyways, thank you all for hanging out. I will be back tomorrow at some point. And until then, I hope you all have a great night. And I will see you on the flip side.